All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Sharp Edge News TV. We're back at it again. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sharp Edge News TVs. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live or drop videos. We're working. We're literally on the 12th episode, I think, since we started. So we're going to keep going. We have no plans to stop. But really quickly, without any further ado, let's welcome the one and only Chief Editor, Editor-in-Chief, Publisher, SharpEdgeNews.com. Hi, Chief Oladimeji Abitogun. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. So good to be back. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you've been watching us. We thank you for hanging out with us every time you choose to.
Awesome. Great. Welcome, sir. All right. So we do have a few stories to cover today. We're going to do them justice. Let's get to it. So the first one we're going to cover today, let me just take a look here. There's a lot of news around NINGI. Senator NINGI budget padding claims. Let me hold on one second. Okay, here we have it. Budget padding claims and suspension. You know me, I'm a learner. I'm just learning about all this stuff. So, but as we're getting,
let me make a brief comment about that.
Okay, I was gonna play a video clip.
Yes, I know. You said you're a learner.
Okay,
And
educate me, sir. Senator NINGI budget padding claims.
Not
happened?
NINGI now. That statement about you being a learner.
Okay.
Yeah,
teach me, sir.
See, many journalists come with this attitude of saying they have supreme knowledge about everything. No. In most journalism schools, journalists are taught to proceed with caution. And the whole essence of asking questions, some of them that people you call, you may refer to as non-initiate in the business of news gathering and dissemination. They will say, oh, this question is stupid, this question is this or that. No. From such simple ideas, simple premises, things grow further and further, and then you are able to arrive at them. What appears to be concise, the total picture. So none of us really know. We only aspire towards the truth.
Are you saying we're all learners?
We all are learning. Yes. And when people come with this attitude of, oh, my learner this, my knowledgeable that, we are all getting education every day.
Absolutely.
And it's something that's got no end. So infinitesimal and infinite. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't agree more.
NINGI, the senator.
Yes. So I'm going to play this short excerpt and then you're going to educate us even more. All right. Let's see. We have a report, a small report here. Let's play it.
The motion has been moved by an amendment has been offered by distinguished Senator Maidoki and seconded by distinguished Senator Sani Musa that it be suspended for only 3 months from the Senate. Those in support of the suspension for 3 months say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
All right, there you have it. So tell us, bring us up to speed. Why is this man being suspended? What did he do? Who is he? Because I'm seeing that name for the first time personally.
Senator NINGI is representing one of the senatorial districts in Bauchi State, if I get it right. Yes, it's from Bauchi State. And in truth, you ask, what did he do? He simply blew the whistle on the shenanigans and sharp practices which has now been characterized as or identified as a budget padding by Nigerian upper house members, that is, members of the Senate in Nigeria, who chose to take care of themselves, their greed, avarice, and whims, rather than taking care of Nigerians at this crucial time. And it told, mind you, or if you pay close attention to the way the motion for a suspension, which in any way has been described in law as a non-event, as an illegality, unlawful, and so may be declared by a competent court of jurisdiction as being null and void at some point. If you notice the way the matter was put to vote, whether it should be suspended or not, would you, in good conscience, say that those who voted nay were less in number to those who voted yea? Very unscientific way of taking polls in modern parliament. So Nigeria still operates this mobocracy, shouts of the mob, instead of allowing numbers to count. What is wrong with Akpabio? Very, funny when compared with consequential views when it comes to lawmaking all over the world. He appears so innocent at times. He appears to be humorous, but he's a very dangerous character.
You're talking about
Akpabio, the Senate president.
Akpabio, the Senate president. Yes. Okay. The one that was just talking.
Yes, he lets the man that called for that vote that superintended the whole thing. In the first place, he is the accuser, he is the judge in this matter. Why is he not allowing the Nigerian people to give the call as to whether Senator NINGI has behaved inappropriately? And mind you, the basis for all that they have done is an outside language interview granted by Senator NINGI to British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, in which he alleged that corrupt party had completely discredited the 2024 budget being operated by the Nigerian government. The process of its approval, the reading, no proper scrutiny. And when you go through everything that has been contained in that document, which has now become their law, suspect law, you will notice that some of those items on the budget, some of the things that pass the scrutiny of a very lazy lawmaking body called the Nigerian Senate, very, very laughable. Can you imagine how, and to our critical audience, can you imagine how a so-called Federal Cooperative College somewhere in South is appropriated certain very huge sums of money, part of which is supposed to be used to rehabilitate an Anglican church. I'm an Anglican, and I am scandalized by this kind of stupidity demonstrated by Nigerian lawmakers. They try to soil even God. I'm telling you, if God visits Nigeria, thank God, God doesn't live in Nigeria anymore. It's not one of the places that God lives in anymore. Nigeria is not one of such places. If God lives in Nigeria, they would attempt to corrupt him. And this is the attempt they have made so brazenly to involve God in their shady and dirty appropriations and stealing of public funds belonging to the poor. Very shameful.
So on what grounds are they suspending him if he's just being a whistleblower?
That he had the temerity to make that disclosure in the media, in the open, as if there is no constitutional guarantee that the media is part of nation-building project. They want to do everything in secrecy. And this man, having been shortchanged, Can you imagine some senators getting pegged and projects which they call constituency projects running to 21 billion naira, one individual in a place they prepared an item, a project saying that in Ogun Central Senatorial District, the others will be appropriated 300 million naira to educate and mobilize people for education. So somebody will wake up today to educate and mobilize Ogun State people that have been, in the front line concerning public education in Nigeria for more than 2 centuries. Then I want to give the Obas. Is it the job of an Oba? Yes, without considering ethnic issues in this. I know that the royal institution in Nigeria is underfunded, but you are not going to take care of that through some short-circuiting. No, it has to be open. Let the people be involved in this. For example, at the time, I knew that the Kano Emirate had a budget of 6 billion naira annually. This disclosure came into the open before the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido, was dethroned. But I'm also aware of the palace amount of money Obas in Ondo State, especially Akure area, Akure North, they have to contend with. You won't believe it that some IQs, some Olus, Kadesis, don't make more than 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira a month. From what I would call stipend from the government. I don't know what that is meant to achieve. But this is not related. This is a corrupt appropriation in the National Assembly by the Senate is not related to the issue I've just raised. The disparity in the allocations to royal institutions up north and the south. This do not have any correlation to what we are talking about here. So NINGI coming out to blow the whistle on the corrupt practices and the enrichment by Nigerian senators, appropriations for projects that are non-existent and that will never ever be executed. This is what he has been suspended for. And that is the shameful vote that Governor Akpabio superintended there. So, all said and done, all things considered, NINGI may not be guilty as charged. On the contrary, all eyes now are on the Nigerian National Assembly. Not just the Senate, even the House of Representatives as well. Yeah. This is where we are.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for bringing me up to speed with that. Do us a favor.
And it is good that the governor of Bauchi State, Governor
Mohammed, is backing him.
Yes, it is good that he is backing him. And I think majority of Nigerians should take up this fight as their own. The budget tracking organization, not-for-profit organization known as the Budget, has come out, made content analysis of the budget, and it falls below the bar. And that is what we have also noticed at SharpEdgeNews.com, that these senators are not making laws for the good of the Nigerian public or people. It is about self-preservation, it is about corruption. And that kind of house will fall like a pack of cards.
All right, thank you. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and follow. Let us know your thoughts about this. I personally would like to actually continue to follow the story. But yes, we'll be back in about 20 seconds. All right, welcome back. Trump's warning: bloodbath prediction if election results don't favor him. All right, let me read this quick excerpt from yahoo.com. I don't know, NBC News rather. Trump says there will be, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead?
The Biden campaign seizing on the remark and rejecting the Trump campaign's claim that it was about only...
All right, let's take a look at this real quickly.
Donald Trump on the attack this weekend in Ohio, lashing out at some of his favorite targets, from the criminal cases against him.
It's all politics. It's all coming in from Biden.
To what he claims are the criminal migrants crossing the southern border and destroying the country.
They're not people, in my opinion, but I'm not allowed to say that because the radical left says that's a terrible thing to say. These are animals, okay?
But it was his use of the word bloodbath during a riff about Chinese car makers that's creating new headlines and headaches for his campaign.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Jesus.
For the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
The Biden campaign seizing on the remark and rejecting the Trump campaign's claim that it was about only cars.
The idea that...
All right, so let's hear your thoughts on those commentaries.
Let's jump into it right away.
Let's do it. This
is our country. This is our country. And like the other time when he first ran, he raised an alarm about possible carnage, the American carnage. And Mr. Trump, you know, he is trapped in the mind of a little child, fantasizes about the years in which he grew up in America. America has since moved on from that stage. There's not going to be Jim Crow anymore. America is not going to be exploiting its fault lines of discrimination and segregation to the point that the dream of some people looking at that shameful stage of the history of this country, the evolution of this country, as being great. That history will not be repeated. It's not going to be brought back. So now he's talking of a bloodbath. Let me tell you, like Jesus would say in times past, let your heart not be troubled. Believe in God, but in place of this, believe in God and believe in the American Constitution. This is a country of strong institutions. I have cautioned elsewhere there. Yes, the GOP, the Grand Old Party, the Republican Party in the United States, would want to field Mr. Donald Trump again for office. You know, it's because nobody has scolded him. Nobody has allowed the full weight of the law to come down on this man for attempting an equivalent of a coup d'etat, January 6, 2021. And so, he was able to get away with that so far, using judges whom he appointed into office while he served as president to delay the process. The process can only be delayed. It will not be denied in law. So all these kind of things that he has done are haunting him. And at some point, because the delay will be over, and then he would go to where he rightly belongs. And trying to stop, you see, if you have been following reports of a journalist like Rachel Maddow, they were talking about the moment Americans were fantasizing and were fixated on the idea of kind of fascism. And most Americans decided to back Adolf Hitler during the Second World War before the war was brought to America by way of the attack on December 7, the day the then President Roosevelt described that would live in history as infamy. You see, Americans were not against that war. Many of them, influential Americans, they were for Adolf Hitler until that war was brought to them. Then the sleeping giant in America was woken up. See, history has a way of repeating itself. And this is what Donald Trump is pandering to. This is what Donald Trump is trying to appeal to. And he has we can't deceive ourselves that it doesn't have believers. We cannot believe, I mean, we cannot deceive ourselves that it doesn't have ardent faithfuls who believe in the twisted gospel is offering them. How can you look at migrants, immigrants, trying to escape harsh conditions wherever they're coming from, and then you call them animals? The same way, compare between that and the way Adolf Hitler would talk. The Menkov, the book written by, the memoir written by Adolf Hitler has become a scripture for Mr. Donald Trump. That is why he would look fellow human beings in the eyes and call them animals. The same thing, that level was found in the late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. When he started calling his people cockroaches and ants and rats and what have you. The same language you find with Saddam Hussein. These are the characters, I mean, that have used such words that denigrate, that devalue people in history. And that is where Donald Trump is going. There won't be any bloodbath after he's going to be, I mean, after he must have been thoroughly whooped at the polls. I listen to some of the Nigerian analysts and journalists. Donald Trump may win again and all that. And some of them are saying, oh, he's a Christian. What has Christianity got to do with this? This is not Nigeria. Yeah, America, this is our country. It's not like our other country, Nigeria, where people will come together and say they are flying a religious solidarity ticket. And then you shut out a considerable number of people. This is a country where people think critically. Yeah. Is Donald Trump really a Christian? Can you really say that people who take all these decisions that hurt the poor, not allowing them freedom of choice in any way, or not allowing people who would say, "Oh, you are running away from trouble. You should be, you should be pushed back into that trouble. You die there," instead of looking at the fact that their own ancestors were immigrants in this country, just like you. No, not you. You were born here. I am an immigrant here, but I'm not an American citizen. And for somebody to come around you, my nephew, and describe you as something other than being American, or look at Oluwaseun, my son, and want to make him feel less American than others, he would have to contend with us with the power of the vote we have. And this is why everybody would mobilize the way they ought to let Donald Trump know that democracy is not about hate. It's not about revenge. It's not about any bloodbath. If that bloodbath is going to happen, maybe it's going to be brain hemorrhage for people who think the way he does. That is the only blood that will flow in some people's brain. America loves democracy, and it is what it's got to offer the world, and that is the hope of the world. Where they don't like democracy, where blood would always flow. Places like Russia, all those Hungary, places where he has his friends like North Korea, China, and what have you. They don't know anything about right or wrong. It's all about being strong and lacking consideration or empathy for the poor or the weak. No, that is not what America stands for. And America is greater than 1 million Donald Trumps. This country, for as long as human civilization will endure, let me paraphrase a past leader of America, democracy will stand, and it would always triumph over any chaotic or anarchical dream of one single individual.
All right. Great. Thank you for that. Do us a favor. Please add your opinions in the comments. We want to hear your opinion. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. And we'll be back in 20 seconds.
Tinubu's visit to former military president General Ibrahim Babangida at his Tinubu's visit to former military president General Ibrahim Babangida at his hilltop residence in Minna, Niger State, where they both discussed the state of the nation. President TINUBU had left the venue of the inauguration of the agricultural mechanization project, executed by Governor Mohammed in the Niger State capital, straight for the hilltop residence of former military leader. Although details of the meeting are unclear, sources told Channels Television that the meeting lasted over an hour and reported on the current situation in the country, with the host governor, Mohammed also in attendance.
All right, so let's take it from there. What do we know about this meeting, and what does it signify or symbolizes? I'm not sure. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, nothing other than a private visit in the final analysis after joining the governor of Niger State to flag off the vision of agricultural revolution, something that is designed, that is projected to reverse the food inflation currently bedeviling Nigeria. That is number 1 point to note. And the governor of Niger State as well is thinking of renewable energy source that would boost power generation for the internal consumption of the citizens of that state. And if anything extra comes, will be pushed to the national grid. Second point to note, going to visit the former military president of Nigeria, retired General Badamasi Ibrahim Babangida. IBB, as he is popularly known, by the incumbent president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is just what any leader, or whoever occupies the high office of president and commander-in-chief of the Nigerian nation want to do. Naturally, Babangida is considered a strong man, but these days, he's contending with his own old age issues. We don't know. Yeah, I mean, when he was in office, it was speculated that he had a bullet lodged in his leg, somewhere in the bones, joints, wherever, from the civil war years. One consideration. But somebody that I know, to know him very well, also talks of the possibility of him dealing with a form of gastritis, or I don't know if it's a stomach ulcer, but that at some point he was offered local therapy, but he always prefers to order his herbal medicines from faraway places like China and wherever. But whatever it is, old age is holding Babangida down, and it's not famous on the political landscape as it used to be. So this old lion now in retirement, eternal resides in his own hilltop mansion in Minna, has received an audience. Bola Tinubu, I do not want to speculate about what the subject matter of
what
that
discussed.
Yes, but it would not be more than some pat on the back. How are you doing this office? Or somebody telling him, oh, Nigeria is tough. Of course, you were in charge. You said Nigeria's situation has defied all logic. And he's finding that to be true. To be true in his own time. I mean, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it could be about such banters. Who knows? We were not there. And in a country where statements are often filtered, and people are not eager to connect with citizens on leadership and governance, this would always remain in the realm of speculation. However, like some Nigerians will say, nobody can rule out the possibility of them pepper souping, jollofing, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And
Let me let you round up in the next 2 minutes with this, right? Here's a quote from President Tinubu. He said, "When you read the paper, some of us are confused whether to abuse the present or the past governments or make excuses for the future. It's not in my dictionary," the president stated matter-of-factly, adding that its focus is to take action now, do your best, re-engineer the finances of the country, and stay ahead of the right path. Those who may be complaining now have to understand that perseverance and consistency will make a nation great. So it's pretty clear that that is, Go ahead. I wanted to add that too.
That could be the thought process of a man who is trying to give people who have been battered, people who have been rubbished by one way or the other through his economic policies, there's a cup of water to swallow, to push down the bitter pill of his unprecedented harsh reforms. And the reforms which people fear may not lead to any logical development in the foreseeable future. So, I mean, he's trying to guide what history will record about him. Good luck if he succeeds at that. But history knows what his impact is. And if he's even reluctant to say anything anymore about Babangida, a man who was their number one foe. In those days when they were talking of being pro-democracy activists. Good luck to him. They always find a way of rehabilitating themselves. So, yeah. But he's been to Niger State. What he has not been able to do on the federal scale, the governor of Niger State is initiating. And it builds on other governors, particularly Southwest Nigeria, where they take it for granted that, the heritage of Awolowo is there. Who told the governors, the do-nothing governors of Southwest Nigeria, Ondo State in particular, that God or the people are not able to raise successors for Awolowo the way Jesus said, if the crowd of Jerusalem stop shouting Hosanna about him, God is able to allow stones to say the same. And that if people will not do anything and continue to salivate over the heritage of Abraham, God is able to raise children for Abraham as well. And this is what these people must realize. The governor of Niger State is giving a hard push to impacting the lives of his people and the state. What is going to be the heritage of Bola Tinubu, other than going there and be deceived that, he's a great man. With 9 months of economic hardship, the local airport there has now been named after him as a Bola Tinubu International Airport. International Airport in Minna.
In Minna, okay.
That was,
that's what they were there for.
No, he went there to assist in flagging off the agricultural revolution and what have you. But now he was rewarded with the naming of the monument, the local airport there. International Airport in Minna, for God's sake.
International Airport.
Yes, International Airport, my foot.
What do they need another one for? They can't even figure out Lagos yet.
Anyway, every airport is just like saying, which university did you attend? Oh, I attended the
International University.
UI Akure, UI Ado-Ekiti, UI Ile-Ife, UI this and that. So International Airport, Minna. So International Airport, my foot. That is how they replicated all kinds of stuff instead of going for the real developmental stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Let us know your thoughts about this one. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and follow so you're notified whenever we go live. We've got a couple more stories to cover. We'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, Rivers and FUBARA's crisis. Wike laments political snakes and betrayers amid peace deal. Let me play about 30 seconds of this, and then we'll talk.
Years ago, we have had our own celebration, and Victor was also present. But let me say something clearly. I have known Victor when I was chairman of other local governments. Victor is not an ungrateful person.
What is this man talking about? Let me play this short one, I beg. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. As they often say, as they often say in Nigeria Palace, nuisance the lake. Nuisance. Hello, Ola.
All right, let's leave it at that.
Yes, why are you looking for the clip? But let's say this.
No, I found it. That was it. I just wanted to play small to spark you off, and there you go. I was done. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What is going on with Wike? We've been covering this for a second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How can Wike be describing anybody as a serpent, as a traitor, when he himself is Judas Iscariot personified? What has he not done? He's never loyal to his party. He's chameleonic.
From my not to interrupt you, sir. From what educate me, right? From where I stand, the only thing he's done is being a godfather, a political godfather to his prodigies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go ahead.
In his quest to become a godfather, something that has now gone awry, that has been thrown back at his face. What did he not do? This is a man that flew the kite of championing the cause of seeing a Southerner become the president of Nigeria in the 2023 presidential elections. It was nothing other than aggrandizement. It was all a vision for him to become the president. When it did not work, he reached out allegedly to the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, his own political party, to have him on a joint ticket as the running mate to the former vice president of Nigeria, who became the presidential candidate of PDP. When that did not fly, he was able to manipulate and deceive some co-travelers into forming a coalition of what was then known as the five whatever. But they were the five rebels, and they were rebels without just cause. I say this without fear of any contradiction from anywhere, because people like us cannot be deceived into the oaks of a so-called Southern presidency. So long to find a brilliant individual who is pan-Nigerian and has good thought, good developmental initiatives for the entire Nigerian Federation, that would be okay. But in this case, it got so sectional, and they started back-knifing Atiku Abubakar, stayed within the party to cause an implosion, and then whatever he knew about that party, he traded off to the ruling party, APC. Everything this man had said about the failures of Buhari, he ate up like a dog, lapping on his own vomit. And now to turn around to accuse the governor of FUBARA or whoever about the deal brokered with FUBARA. Everywhere FUBARA goes, people tell him, oh, greet your boss, like the vice president Shetima did the other day. Greet your boss. And they
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
What do you think the long-term goal? This is a question we would ask about President TINUBU 5, 6, 7 years ago. What do you think the long-term goal of Wike is?
His long-term goal is nothing about capturing power, but giving and trusting what's it called, the office of commander-in-chief of a federation to a character like Wike. It's almost like putting Donald Trump in office in America. This guy is going to run amok. Look at the way he's been talking down on the elected senator of Federal Capital Territory, Ireti Kingibe. Wike, I do not know, but from what I've seen about him, my conclusion about his character is that he's an unstable person, he is dangerous, and nobody should even try to, to promise him whatever may not be realistic. He's had his time stealing and coercing and shortchanging the people of River State, and now Nigerians, by way of being made the minister of the Federal Capital Territory. That is okay. That is okay. You should just go. After all this, you should just go somewhere, sit down, and enjoy his loot.
You just mentioned Ireti Kingibe, right?
Yes.
What can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, Ireti Kingibe is the elected senator for the Federal Capital Territory, and he expects to have relative oversight on whatever the minister of the Federal Capital Territory is doing. But what Wike has been doing to the woman is to come in the open and want to parody and ridicule her and make her to feel inconsequential and not relevant. And Wike is doing this, not being put to check. You know, Ireti Kingibe came on the platform of Labour Party, and nobody is cautioning Wike that you cannot talk to an elected senator, an elected representative of the people, the federated consciousness of FCT people, the way he does all the time. So, Wike is always dramatic, he's theatrical. Instead of focusing on the job, he will not. He would look for all kinds of things to do. Is a prayer mantis dances everywhere. And to me, I don't see him as a cerebral or brilliant. He's just opportunistic. And this is, the other day I described him as a useful idiot. And that is what he would always be. Yes, when APC is done using him, when Bola TINUBU is done using him, he's going to get dumped. He's going to be cut to size, and he will know that he occupies just a mere footnote in the history of the Nigerian nation.
Wow. All right. It's quite interesting to just watch it from afar because I'm still learning.
No, don't get close to such people.
No,
it can be dangerous.
Get close to the stories I'm talking about.
You notice the way I compared between him and Donald Trump. That is Nigeria's Hitler you are looking at there. That is the making. If he ever turned out to be the leader of Nigeria, he would not perform better than Adolf Hitler in 1939 to 1945 Germany, or 1933 when he was first, revealed to the nation. So, good luck to him. Yeah, good luck to him. But Wike is a very dangerous politician. He is the serpent that Nigerians should avoid.
Okay, all right. In order to give you some more time for the next story here, we're just going to round this off. Do us a favor. We would like to know your thoughts about this whole Wike thing. Share your comments, your opinions below in the chat. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. And we'll be back in 20 seconds. And back to this.
But yes, indeed, we'll be talking about security and some of the matters here this morning. As you may have seen, we're joined by Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua. He is the chairman, Senate Committee on Army and also the new chairman, Northern Senators Forum. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain.
So, having emerged as the chairman, Northern Senators Forum, considering how the whole scenario, what transpired before your emergence, what you're thinking about how you are going to approach that new role?
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. First and foremost, this forum, the Northern Senators Forum, was established, to promote the unity of Nigeria. And I think that is how I'm going to approach, this new role that I'm going to play. And I tell you that we are going to work with the leaders of the Southern Senators Forum to ensure that we promote.
All right, let's just leave it at that. So, Nigeria at war. Abdulaziz Yar'Adua's position and concerns about military excesses in Okuoma, Delta State. This man apparently has replaced the suspended Senator NINGI, right? And he's also, what is he, a nephew, a brother to the... He's also making some statements around his...
Yes, he is a descendant of the great Musa Yar'Adua family of Katsina State. The same family that produced Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua, the former
president.
No, what was it called? The former deputy, the former military deputy to Obasanjo from 1976 to 1979, when he was military head of state. Yes, Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua was the chief of staff, supreme headquarters. That was the way the military vice president of Nigeria used to be addressed, and he also related from that same line to the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Remember, Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and then this Senator Musa Yar'Adua. Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua. They are from the great, and their father, the original Musa Yar'Adua, was a great politician of the, in Nigeria, the First Republic, immediate post-independence of Nigeria. So now, I think producing somebody from the Yar'Adua stock to lead the Northern Senate caucus is instructive. That is a family that is strongly tuned in Nigeria's military tradition. Yes, they are strongly tuned. The only person that has been able to dare a confrontation with them, because you remember, Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua, as the leader of PDM, People's Democratic Movement in Nigeria, and later as a strong contender against Oba, then chief, as he was known, but now Oba Oluyemi Falai, Oba Olufalai.
Right.
Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua was a well-rounded politician, apart from being a military.
So let me get this straight. Sheikh, really quickly, because I'm a little confused. The one that passed away while he was president was Umaru Musa
Yar'Adua.
Okay. And Sheikh was also running for president one time, right?
Yes, and he was later arrested and accused of coup plot by late General Sani Abacha. That's the point I'm making. Even for Abacha to have taken on that family, at the end of the day, you saw the sudden death syndrome that killed Sani Abacha. Because you don't go after strong elements like this and then still think that you will have longevity. No, they too have their own aura. I'm not that, So for him to have emerged now as the leader of the Northern Caucus in the Nigerian Senate is instructive, and we need to watch closely and with caution as well on the direction that things will take. For example, the NINGI disclosure, like we have said, NINGI has been a patriotic whistleblower against people that have been shortchanging Nigerian voters, Nigerian citizens.
Right.
But people like Senator Bamidele Okuoma is our good buddy, good friend in the Nigerian students movement in those days. In fact, he was always with us in Ado-Ekiti during the presidency of Yomi Girado and Bola Ajimuda. I mean, our students' union government in Ado-Ekiti in those days. He was a known quantity to all of us, but we were expecting him to be pan-Nigerian and pro-Nigerian. But since this NINGI disclosure, he was the one who reverted to not minding the fact that he is the majority leader in the in the Senate. He was the one who stoked this revival stuff for Southern senators. And this is the response that the North is putting up now. And it is apt to say that Nigeria is in a state of war. In fact, more than a state of war, Nigeria has relapsed into a state of anomy. Now, let's connect between that. Let's connect between that and what is happening currently in Delta State. Okuoma community in Ughelli, where the total picture of what is going on is not yet clear. And some journalists forgetting the fact that if you incite the military or anybody to commit ethnic purge, pogrom, or genocide, you may be as guilty as the military people who are spearheading it as well. Because the full story is not yet known. And it is objectionable, it is condemnable and ungodly for local militants to ambush like the military. That is the military version of what transpired. But what we are gathering from the people of that community is quite different from that. The people of that community are saying the Nigerian military became interested party in taking side with the other community that was at war with Okuoma people. And that after coming and being entertained and being given the traditional hospitality in the community, offered kola nuts and prayers and all that, and they talked about the issues at stake. The military insisted on going with the chairman of the Development Association of that community. They wanted to also arrest other people alongside with him, and the people of the community resisted that, no, you are becoming an interested party in this field. It should not be the business of the military. You cannot arrest the leader. Whatever happened thereafter is not fully known. But the excitement with which President Bola TINUBU, like I told you during our last recording, I said everybody is following in lockstep on the tradition and mentality of Muhammadu Buhari in APC. Shoot first and ask questions later. No critical thinking. They did not think through before Bola TINUBU gave a marching order to the military. Those who were involved in the dastardly killing of the lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, captain, and other rank and file, totally 16 bodies in a gory manner, thrown into a river. Yes, condemnable and objectionable. But you and I know that when people target law enforcement personnel in America, you don't annihilate a whole community because of that. You don't put this apocalyptic pronouncement that that community should be razed down, people killed, maimed, and what have you. That is what has happened in the last 72 hours in Okuoma from reports that we're getting. And why would Nigerian president not be discreet on how he uses orders as commander-in-chief? So 1 or 2 gangsters or militants or individuals perpetrated an heinous crime, then you make an entire village to pay for it. The international community must pay attention to things like this. When military people were ambushed and killed by known terrorists in Niger State, like they continue to do every day, everywhere. The Nigerian presidency has never given a marching order that an entire place to be wiped off. This thing that people do to communities in southern Nigeria, look at the way they also tried to annihilate Igboho the other day. Things happen instead of being reasonable and using instrument of intelligence and law enforcement to put things right and let people face the music of their crime. You say a whole community should be wiped off. Who does that? In a place not far from us, a few days ago in Kansas City here, 2 policemen were gunned down. Of course, they were given heroic burial, and the perpetrators of the crime had to be traced and tracked down. You saw the killings that also happened during the celebration of the Chiefs concerning, what's it called? The Super Bowl here. The perpetrators were rounded up, they were identified, and they are facing criminal prosecution right now. That is what should have happened in Okuoma. And to say that Nigeria is at war, using different tactics to engage people of Nigeria. You will not do this up north in Nigeria, you will not do it elsewhere, but in southeast, southwest, you will be using the military to put down the people. Now people are even talking of oil bunkering being at the center of this. And this is the nonsense that Nigerian people should be pushed into picking the bill. Yes, the military should be painstaking and be professional and thorough. And the police as well, in finding those who kill those soldiers and bring them to justice instead of killing innocent people, children, women, old men, and all kinds of stuff. This ought to stop. And this is not a good moment for Nigeria at all. So I agree into that, yes, Nigeria is at war, but not against any foreign territorial enemy, foe. Nigeria is at war with its people, with its citizens, with its staff. Look at what the leader of Niger is doing to Nigeria, taunting Nigeria, rejecting offers, and even extending it now to saying that Americans are given 2 weeks to pack their stuff and leave that country. That does not attract the attention of Bola Tinubu. He's excited to kill his own citizens. He did it in connivance with Buhari at Lekki Toll Gate in Lagos. He's still repeating it in Okuoma. And even when innocent citizens are protesting on the street of Asaba, they open fire on them. What kind of country is Nigeria becoming? Yes. Some people say failed state. I don't think that we want to see Nigeria fail. So people must do things according to civilized standard.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you so much for that somewhat of a special report, because this was one of the news that you wanted to cover today. That's all we have today, and do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow. More importantly, we would like to know your opinions. Leave your comments below the video, either you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Please also help us share this video. All right, any last words?
Oh, well, that all hands must be on deck so that the Nigerian project can fly. It would be a sad thing to see Nigeria disintegrate and fall into an irredeemable state. That said, to the viewers, this is a project you ought to support. We don't need to proselytize you. You know what to do. Always make sure that you stay with us at SharpEdgeNews.com.
Great. Awesome.
Thanks so much.
All right. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.